get delaying.
So
Sir, it's
let me
visible
turn
now.
off.
Yes, sir, it's visible now in the full screen mode.
Full screen mode. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes. We are able to see your PPTs now.
Okay, madam. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. So yes, dear all, good afternoon. And today during next 1 hour or next 1.5 hour, Impact lecture series, we are going to discuss about research ethics. Okay, we will say what not to do. Instead, we will discuss more with respect to patent and IP. If you need a patent, what should not be done, or what are the common mistakes which usual or many researchers are doing. So those particular aspects we will discuss about ethics, right? With respect to IPR, we will start with the basics. What is property? Types of property? What is the concept or the need of IPR? For what particular area is related to? What are different types? What is India's IP system? Okay. Then what are the recent changes by the government of India? Okay, and all the support system we will discuss during this next 1.5 hour. So friends, actually we go and discuss about the intellectual property right directly. First we need to understand what it is and how it is actually evolved. Okay, so to understand how this has been evolved, we need to understand first the concept of the property. So property means something that we possess, something that we can say we are its own. Okay, that is property. Now, when we say about property, they are broadly divided into two groups: tangible property and the intangible property. And the difference between these two is the physical form of their nature. Tangible property are the ones which has a physical form. And as per the principles of physics, right? Any article which has a physical form in the nature, we are able to see it. We are able to, okay? So those are the tangible property which has a physical form. And it includes any item which you can see around yourself. That can be your furniture, your automobiles, or land, building, vehicles, gold, jewelry, currency notes, anything. Okay, and to prove, let's say for example, ask that how you will prove ownership on this mobile phone or a laptop. They are physical in the nature, we are able to see it, touch it, measure it. When it comes to prove that, to prove the ownership, we have a clear understanding, and we will see that the ownership for such item is we are able to prove on the basis of the bills or the registration paper. If they are on your name, it has been said like you are its owner. Those are the traditional property, and we have a clear understanding about the same. Now, another type of property is the intangible. And as I said earlier, difference between two is the physical form. So these are the property which doesn't have any physical form. And as the principle of physics says, the items which do not have any physical form, we are first of all not able to see them. First challenge, we are not able to see them. The second challenge is we are not able to see, that's why we are not able to touch it and measure it. Then how you will prove, right? For such things, how you will prove that that belongs to you, which you are not able to see. Those are the intangible property, and this particularly includes all the items, majorly the creations of the human mind. Anything which is generating from the brain, those are the things which doesn't have any physical form in the nature. What is going on in your mind, no other person is able to see. If you have observed one problem, you come up with some thoughts in your brain. This is a problem. If it is being addressed via this type of experimentation, it can be overcome. So you are the one who has come up with that thought or the idea for the first time. You worked on that thought, you developed the prototype, and that prototype has actually solved that problem. So it is the conversion from the thought to the reality. Idea, the human brain thought into conversion of the. So that's where the challenge comes. How you will say that you are the first one or you are the one who has created it. Okay, so there comes the role of intellectual property right to take or to give the ownership right with respect to such kind of intangible assets which doesn't have any physical form, and that includes all the kind of human mind creativity. That includes scientific and technical creations as well. At the same time, it also includes all the kinds of creativity related to arts, music, philosophy, right? So writing a novel, making a painting, giving a music composition, singing a song, right? Any kind of all those creativities, either a scientific, technical or artistic, all those creations comes under the your intangible assets which has no physical form. And how you will take ownership on such intangible asset, human mind creation, their intellectual property rights. So tangible property, all the goods which has a physical form. These are just few examples, but the list is very broad. And similarly, intangible property. So the items which has a no physical form, which you cannot see directly. And that includes all the kind of human mind creations. Scientific, technical, literary, artistic, all the kind of creation. Intangible property. So when we say intellectual property right, okay, intellectual property rights. So this is the domain that deals with taking ownership on the intangible assets. What it is, look, the meaning lies within the words. Intellectual. Intellectual means anything that is related. It has no relation with respect to age, gender, or education background. You cannot say that PhD student will always be more brilliant or good or brighter than the undergraduate, right? Many intelligent students are able to create even more better than the very learned man. It has no relation with respect to height, weight, education background, religion, or gender. So intellectual, directly related to brain. Property means taking ownership with respect to any kind of human mind creations. That is taking ownership, property, and the rights. Once it is your property, you are the owner for your brain creation, that is your property. Now, what kind of rights you have? So similar to physical properties, right? Say for example, you are the owner for one mobile phone. Now you are the one who owns it. Now you have a right whether to use it for your own purpose, whether to sell it, whether to give to your friend, or whatever you want to do. That is your property and you have a right to do anything with it. Similarly, intellectual property, these are, once you take it as a property, this also has all the similar kind of property or the characteristic. You can use for your own purpose, you can sell to others, you can license it to others. These are your rights. So intellectual property right, taking ownership with respect to all the kind of human mind creations, right? Thinking, learning, brain, creativity, ideas, mind, technical, scientific, artistic, all the kind of human mind creation, all comes within the purview of intellectual property. Okay, so any person in terms of medical science, we can say like that There might be possibility that one person doesn't have hand or leg or any abnormality in eyes or ears, but that couldn't be any living person without a brain. No person can live without a brain. So all the human beings who are living on the earth, all has a brain and all has a capability to think something. And with that thinking or thoughts or the creation, if you are creating anything, right? All that is, if they are original and you are the one who has developed or created it, every human being has a rights to get it protected it on their own name. That doesn't require any minimum age criteria or minimum education qualification, right? So when you wish to apply for any kind of IP right, whether that is a patent, trademark, copyright or design, while making application, the process never asks for your age certificate, birth certificate or a degree certificate. So even a 5-year-old kid or 80-year-old very old person, every person, literate person or illiterate person, whoever is coming with their own original thoughts or creativities, each one is capable enough to get it own. And for that purpose, how they can own, they all provisions are given under this area, provision, intellectual property rights. So this slide represents or discusses about the definition of intellectual property right. What is intellectual property right and what are its fundamentals and the characteristics? So it is defined like this. Look, and these 2 points are the definition come their important characteristics. We can say it usually gives creator, the person who has created it. It gives creator an exclusive right only to him and excluding all others. That is exclusive right. It gives creator an exclusive right only to the creator and excluding others over the use of his creation. Whatever the creator has created, those rights are given only and only his creation for a certain period of time. These IP rights are the time bound rights. Each IP has a defined time limit. And another important aspect, they are granted by the government. No individual person, no professional, no institute, no university, no company can grant the IP by their own self. They can only and only granted by the government. And another important aspect is they are territorial in the nature. Means the country where you applies it, that will give exclusive right for that country only. Say for example, any student at Trinity College had developed one prototype or the project and for which he is applying for a patent. He is applying for a patent for the India. So he will have an exclusive right for its use only for the Indian territory. If he is not filing in other countries, then all other countries are free to use his patent without taking his ownership or permission or without paying any royalty to him. So these are IP rights are territorial in the nature, means the country specificity, and reverse is also true, friend. Reverse is also true. It means that if any scientist or researcher has invented something in the USA, Germany, Japan, Korea, Israel, right, any country, and if they are also not filing their patent into India, we all are also free to use it without taking their permission, without paying a single rupee to them. Okay, so we can say, that's why I said earlier, these two are its definition, their important characteristics, fundamental and basics of the IP. Okay, once again, it gives creator an exclusive right over the use of his creation for a certain period of time. These are granted by government and these are territorial in the nature. And in today's time, friend, in today's time, the value of intangible asset for any organization or any individual for any company is much more important than the tangible asset. Okay, and that's how we can prove it like that. Okay, so if we are knowing that the today is the technology era, so the country which are more technology dependent or more developing the technology, the companies who are more technology advanced, they are the market leader. Similarly, on the individual front, say for example, in one class there are two students. One is a born rich guy and another is coming from the normal middle class family. So on the present day, based on the tangible asset, right? The person who is born rich would be regarded as more richer. But if the normal middle class guy with his brain, if he is creating any technology, problem solution, or a patent development, software development. So with that, we are knowing that in the startup, every 15 days or 1 month, we are coming up with the generation of new unicorn, new startup star from the India. So those are the actually guys who has developed those products, who has worked on those ideas, and we are knowing that many case studies wherein based on working on those ideas, many people have achieved greater success. So in days to come, right, if any person is working on his brain thought, he can create a fortune in very lesser or a longer term. And that's why we are saying in today's time, the value of intangible asset is important for countries, companies, colleges, institutions, universities, and also for the individual persons. There are different types of IPR, right? You might have heard about all of these: a patent, trademark, copyright, design, integrated circuits, geographical indication, trade secrets. So these are all a different type of IPR, and each protects the special kinds of human mind based on the type of your ideas or the creativity. They are required to be protected by suitable means of IP instrument, right? So IPR, intellectual property right, is a superset, and these all are the subsets which deals with the special kind of human mind creation. So this slide represents over here copyright, patent, trademark, design, trade secret. Okay, so these, look, these are fundamentally protects the ideas, human mind creativity. So if your idea or creativity is related to expression of your thoughts by means of making a painting, by means of writing a novel, by means of producing the lyrics for new song, by means of dancing step of the new dancing steps, singing a song, giving new acting for the movies, okay, giving making a computer program, expressing your thoughts, right? Giving or making a new architectural design of the building. So all these are expression of your thoughts. And such type of creativity can be protected by copyright. If your idea is related to innovation and invention, that actually deals with the development of new product or processes, or with respect to the technical upgradation of existing product and processes based on some R&D or research activities. If your ideas and thoughts are related to such activity related to product and process development or its improvement, such thing can be protected by patent. If your ideas or creativity is related to the giving new name to your company, making a new logo for your company, making a new packaging for your product, which all ultimately leads to the identity for your company or the product, along with giving a surety for the quality. If it is, then such things can be protected by the trademark. Like when I say Reliance, so we know that what is its logo, identity. When we say Facebook, what is its logo? When we say other, what is its logo? Government of India, what is its logo and identity? So those are the trademarks, right? If your idea is related to development of new design of any article, new look of any existing article, whether those are a new chair design, new table design, new shoes design, new watch design, new spec design, new jewelry design, new kitchen utensil design, new electric bulb design, new automobile car design. So any kind of creativity with the external look of any article, those can be protected by design. And if your creativity is related to something confidential and which is the core heart for your business, and you keep it as a secret, right? It is only known to yourself, then such creativity can be protected by trade secret. So these are all different type of IPR. Copyright protects. It is granted for 15 years, initially granted for 10 years, and further it is required to be renewed for next 5 years, governed by the Design Act and the rules. Copyright protection. So that is for the original and creative works, expression of your thoughts in any tangible medium. That tangible medium can be your notebook, can be a painting canvas, can be a computer program, can be a drawing suit, can be a music recording into a pen drive or any other medium. So those are copyrights, okay, that can give a protection for entire life of the creator plus 60 years after his death. That is the validity for copyright, and it requires no renewal. Once registered, no renewal. Governed by the Copyright Act and the rules. Geographical indication, that is for the distinguished product characteristics due to geographical or manpower from the specified area. Certain goods has a special characteristics compared to the similar product from other region. Like Kolhapuri chappal, right? Nagpur orange, Ratlami sale, Tirupati laddu, Darjeeling tea, Basmati rice, Kashmiri kesar. Okay, so these are the examples wherein these products originating from these locations has a special characteristics, and that makes those products very unique. And such products can be protected by geographical indication that gives lifelong protection, required to be renewed every 10 years, governed by the Geographical Indication Act and the rules. Now look, so these are the different type of IPR: patent, trademark, copyright, design. That each protects the special kinds of human mind creativity, but all of them has a common fundamental characteristics. Like first of all, they are granted for the intangible assets, means the creation of the human brain, which has a no physical form in the nature. They are also transferable from one person to other, like your tangible properties. They are in the nature, country specific only, where registered will be valid for that country. They are government. These IP rights, once registered on your name, it gives you the exclusive you and excluding all. So government gives this exclusivity based on this principle, quid pro quo, which means that For getting those exclusivity, you have to give the full disclosure about that particular invention or the information. And once you give or register based on that full disclosure, government grants you those exclusivities. Right? There are standard limitations and exceptions were also defined under each of these acts: Patent Act, Trademark Act, Copyright Design Act. What cannot be patented, what cannot be copyrighted, what cannot be design protected. So standard limitations and exceptions were clearly defined under these acts. These are time-bound rights. What is the timeline? They will remain valid for that time period only, if they are renewed properly as per the provisions of the Act and rules. And all these characteristics leads to give you the exclusive right, and which is useful to create a monopoly into the market or to give you a competitive advantage into the market. So these are a common fundamentals of all IP rights. Okay. So friends, when you created something related to all these scientific creation, technical, artistic, right? And whether you need patent, trademark, copyright, design, for that you require to go through the defined procedure under each of these acts: Patent Act, Trademark Act, Copyright Act, Design Act. You have to fill the required forms. You have to pay the required fees. You have to overcome all the objections raised by the registry. And when all the things are satisfied, at the end, government gives you certificates like this: trademark certificate, patent certificate, design certificate, copyright certificate, geographical indication certificate. And once this certificate is granted on your name, it is like that you are the owner for said IP. Okay. If the name of Reliance is granted on the name of Reliance Industries Limited on this certificate, it means that Reliance word is given as a property to Reliance Industry. You cannot start a business with the Reliance name. Okay, there are different provisions, there are many nitty-gritties, but which would not be appropriate to discuss at the present stage. But look friends, the message over this slide is that the certificate, when you go through the defined procedure, fees payment, requirement, satisfaction, at the end government will grant this certificate to you, and which will say that you are the official owner for said IP. Okay. Now look, this slide represents some good examples which says that IP is everywhere around ourselves. No person can say that IP has no role in my life. Whether he is just newborn baby or whether that is a very old person who is just about to die on a hospital bed. Whether he is a president or prime minister of company, or whether that is a very normal civilian person living into the remotest area of our country. IP has important role in everyone's life, knowingly or unknowingly. Okay, and so to make you understand about this fundamental, there are some good case studies or the examples over here. So look over here. Even without reading anything, when I will say that these are the shoes from which company, you will very carefully say that these are from the rim, and how you will say that based on this symbol. Okay, so this symbol is the symbol. See, only Reebok company can use this symbol. When I will say that what is the symbol of Puma, you will have a clear idea. What is the symbol of Adidas? What is the symbol of Nike? Similarly, with respect to any company, okay, these companies, and these are their identity. Like we know each other person by their name. Similarly, these products are identified with their name, whose companies this product is, right? So such things can be protected by trademark. The name Reebok spelling is a trademark. This logo is also a trademark. And this product, Reebok itself manufactures many types of shoes. This is so flexible that you twist it in any mode, it will regain to its normal position. So this product series, they are launching with the new name like Real Flex, Reebok and the Flexible. So this name also they have trademark, Real Flex. Okay. Now, the information related to what is the material they are using, how they are preparing, that's why this product becomes so we can say so flexible without any damage to the product characteristics. And such information the company is keeping secret. Like the Reebok company itself manufactures 1,000 types of shoes variety, each looking different from other. So the look of each shoe's design can be protected by the copyright with respect to what is the labeling of the product, how it is being labeled, what are their newspaper advertisement, TV commercials, website content. All such kind of information can be protected by copyright. And the items or the technical improvement with respect to new fabric development, new processing development, all such kind of scientific and technical improvements can be protected by patent. So it is each product can be protected by more than one IPs, whether that is your watch, whether that is your spec, that is your mobile phone, that is your laptop, your furniture items, electric items, the food what you eat, the medicine what you take, anything. One product can be protected by multiple types of IP. Okay. Similarly, this is another example to showcase the similar situation. This is from the pharmaceutical, and this represents the inhaler. Like for asthmatic patient or the people who have a difficulty in the breathing, they take some medications via this inhaler, the breathing assistant tools. So Cipla is the company, one pharmaceutical company who is very pioneer and expert to manufacture the same. Okay, so Cipla, the name itself is a trademark, but then this product they are selling on the name of inhaler. Okay, multi-inhaler. So this is they have also trademark. They have a look for the look of this product. They have a design registration. The trade secret, how they are manufacturing, what is its component, what is the processing cycle, or like all those information, trade secret. A copyright with respect to a labeling, the color combination, the content, all that can be protected by the copyright. The patent with respect to a product or the medicament. Similarly, like, so these are the cases to showcase or to give you some insights that IP is everywhere around yourself. Now, IP is useful for all the stakeholders of the society, whether they are researchers to know that register what is already invented, right? Or whether whatever they have developed, it is if they originally developed, they protect it by means of IP protection. For the academic to make their students in line with the latest amendment or research into the India or around the world, okay, or whatever the experimentation they are doing for their protection as well, IP is useful. For the industry, whatever the challenges they are coming up, they are evolving through those challenges via intellectual solution development, and those they can develop or protect as via IP, or they can keep a track or watch on what competitors are coming up with the new product and how they can improve their product to remain to be a competitive into the market. Those are the industry needs, right? So even though very illiterate person, very young age, newborn baby or very old person, they are also taking benefit of the IP. So the good example is like a COVID vaccine, right? COVID was one of the very difficult virus to deal with. But there are few scientists who has worked upon it, they developed the vaccine, right? And we are taking up and getting benefited against those viral difficulties. So similarly, for any aspect, whether lights come to you, telephone communication to you, internet connectivity to you, food supplies to you, furniture items or any, society is also getting benefit from the creations and the IPs. Also, it is useful to the government to define their policies. If government says that we want to reduce the waste, we want to go on the electric vehicles, we want to move towards green energy. So when to promote those areas, the government make their policies based on the same. Government can give tax relaxations, the subsidies, right? IP protection rights or the subsidized schemes availability. So similarly, to promote the areas to divert the turn of the society or the country, government, it is also useful, IP is also useful to the government. And importantly, we can say that IP is useful for all the technical domains of all industry types, right? So it is not only like we can say that it is only IP is only for the medical science or mechanical or electrical or the space science. Even it is equally useful for the agriculture, food processing, waste management, communication, or any other field, whichever you take, you will find the presence of IP over there. Whether those are the cartoon characteristic for kids, there also will come the role of IP. Whether they are the items you buy from the supermarket, there also comes the role of IP. So IP is everywhere around every person's life, knowingly or unknowingly. IP is an important business tools. Okay, friends? So look, IP means business. IP doesn't just mean for, right? Photo framing or making the certificate into office decoration for CV purpose or career growth, right? Many times in academia, we see like IP as for these purposes. If any college file 10 patent, they make a photo framing and give on their front door welcome entry. Any person who will file IP, they are showing into their CVs for the further career growth. Okay, yeah, they are useful, right? We are not saying that they are not meant for that, but IP shouldn't be generated just with respect to those purposes. IP means actually a business. IP means business. And how we can say it? Look there. This component of Fortune 500 companies over the years, decades. So look, in this slide, 1975, 85, 95, 2005, 2010, and two colors, white and the brown. This represents the total value of Fortune 500 companies. Okay. In 1975, what is the total value? Out of that total value, nearly 83% is for the tangible asset. And for intangible, it is just 17. And as the time is passing, the value of intangible asset is increasing. So in today's time, we are saying that Fortune 500 companies, right? For them, how big their companies are, how big their profitability is. But even though what is the value of those companies is basically because of their IP, intellectual property, right? And as I said earlier, this is not only meant or this is only for the big companies. This equally applies to each individual person, colleges, faculty members, universities or country as well. This is equally important and equally applicable to all the stakeholders. Now look, importance of IP for the economy. intellectual property, how it contributes for the development or the importance of the country's economy. So look friends, there was a study conducted into the European Union, 30 plus countries, to showcase how the IP is contributing for the joint economy of the entire Europe. And what was the finding of that report or the study was mentioned, right, which says that 28% of all jobs in the European Union, 30 countries, 60 million, 6 crores are directly related to IPR industries. IPR based industry, okay. 38% of all employment, which account for 8 crore 20 lakh, are directly and indirectly related to IPR based industry. The persons who are working in IP based industry gets more salary than the person who working into non IP based industry. The 42% of total economic activity, 42% of GDP of entire Europe is based on the IP based industry, which accounts for nearly 5.7 trillion euros. Very huge amount, okay. And whatever they export, the entire Europe is making, out of that entire export, 90% goods are based on the IP based industry. For India, we do not have any such study to represent the effect, right, or how IP is contributing to Indian economy, but these are also equally eligible for India. Look friends, all the jobs are directly related to IP industry. So when you work into the IT industry, when you work into the automobile industry, when you work into the pharmaceutical industry, right, when you work into the entertainment industry, so these are the industry where the role of the technology comes, and those are the, we can say, the job based on the IP based industry. We know that what the salary of IT engineer is more than the worker who is working on the civil construction site. So those are the IP based industry, and they are paying more salary to the employee than the non-IP based jobs, right? And similarly, we know that what is the automobile sector contributes to our economy, what is IT sector contribute to economy, what is pharma sector contribute to economy, what is entertainment sector contribute to economy. So that is the role of IP into each country's performance is very high. Okay, so look, this is one example to showcase the importance of IP for the success of one company. Okay, this is the example of Apple company, friends. So on the present day, friends, Apple is regarded as the richest company of entire world. Richest private sector company of entire world. Private sector, when there is a government, that might be a huge company like ONGC, SBI or Bank of America, it can be possible. But a private sector company, richest private sector company of entire world, whose valuation is more than $2 trillion. 2 trillion, 1 trillion means 1,000 billion. So 2 trillion means 2,000 billions. 1 billion is equal to 100 CR. So 2,000 into 100 is equal to 2 lakh crore dollar. 2 lakh crore dollar. And when you convert dollar into rupees, 2 lakh into 75. So that is nearly 1,50,000 lakh crore Indian rupees. That is the actual value of this company, one private sector company. And look friends, this is just one company of USA whose valuation is $2 trillion. When we compare this with India's economy, you will identify what is the difference. Look friends, many times politicians or prime minister is saying that we want to make India a $5 trillion economy by 2025. The country of nearly 140 crore Indian citizens or country having 6 crore 33 lakh MSME units, having thousands and thousands of the colleges, the youthest country of entire world, having a very big companies like Reliance, ONGC, Adani, CSIR, Infosys, Tata, Mahindra, okay, all these, even though the government is making a target to be a $5 trillion economy. That is the value of this just one. So how this company has reached to this position? So friends, the important answer is that they reached to this position based on the strategic implementation of IP. So how they have reached, look friends. So when iPhone 7 was launched, it was selling at the cost of $650 one piece, whereas their original manufacturing cost is nearly 220, including of all the components. So on per piece, we can company has a profitability of nearly 250%, right, per piece, and that's why this company becomes so rich, right? But why this company is so successful to get this much amount of revenue? There are a number of companies into the market, right? When the Apple launches new product at the cost of 1,50,000 with the similar features, after 3 or 6 months, another companies like Oppo, Lenovo, MI, right? They are launching the same product at the costing of 20,000, 30,000. But they company are not so rich. Why? Because what this company has made the image into customer mindset, the brand building. Okay, this is the Apple iPhone. This is the Apple MacBook. This is the Apple iPod. And that impression, the company has created that brand value. And based on that, that brand is a trademark. Right? They are the one who come up with the base technology, with the newest feature development, and all those they protect by means of IP instruments, patent, trademark, copyright. Okay, and that all ultimately leads to these companies so greater valuation. And friends, do you know interesting fact about the Apple? Even having the richest private sector company of the world, on the present day as well, Apple doesn't own a single manufacturing plant of their own. They are just get their product manufactured on a contract manufacturing from other players. This is the company who actually works for the product development, feature development, and its greatest brand building and the marketing. So that is the role of IPR, right? So just before 2-3 days, we just Apple turned nearly 28 years. Sorry, Google turned nearly 28 years. Okay, so look how they have started. So PhD student, and everyone knows the story. They were the PhD student, and they have started or identified one problem. When they have started, there was a problem to search on the internet. When people are searching, they are not getting the right information. They identified this problem, and to address this problem, they made one algorithm, computer program, right? And that computer program means with some rules, some conditions, some filters. And based on writing a computer code, one computer program. So with that computer program, what they have developed within 28 years, now also the Google becomes the biggest brand of the world. So that is the power of IP. That is the power of creativity. Look at other examples like Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Oyo, Zomato, or all the unicorns. So they are the technology-driven startups, right? That is the role of IP for the success of one ideas or for the success of one big business. Now this slide, moving ahead, friends, this slide represents the IP system of India. Okay. So how actually this is working. So in India, as we said, ultimate supreme authority is the government. So government of India is the supreme authority. In the government of India, there are different ministry, Home Ministry, Finance Ministry, Defense Ministry. Likewise, there is one Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Under that ministry, there is one department known as a DIPP, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, which is presently known as DPIIT, Department for Promotion of Internal Trade and Tariff. And under this department, there comes the Patent Office. Okay, and this Patent Office works for the operation, application, receipt, their verification, examination, fees collection, hearing to the objections and granting the certificates. So this is how the IP system in India works. Okay, and how, look there, what is the office structure of this patent? So like we have IIT for engineering education, AIIMS for medical education, similarly we have a National Institute of Intellectual Property at the Nagpur, one National Institute for IB. We have 4 patent offices for entire country into 4 metro cities: Kolkata, Delhi, Chennai and Mumbai. We have 1 design office for entire country, that is at Kolkata. We have 5 trademark office for country, 4 into metro cities and also 1 into Ahmedabad. 1 geographical indication registry at Chennai, 1 semiconductor integrated circuit layout design registry at Delhi, and 1 copyright office at Delhi. So this is how the structure of patent offices established and working into India. And look, there are 4 patent offices. So how other states are catered? So these are territorial jurisdiction. This office is applicable for all these states. And on the present day, all the functions can be done online, right? It hardly requires anyone to go and visit the patent office. Now look, the next is Global Innovation Index. Okay, friends, Global Innovation Index. So as the name indicates, this is related to global, world level innovation index. So this is something related to the all countries' performance on the innovation parameter, right? And when on the international platform, when we have to compare India, we usually compare with the China. Okay, so look, this Global Innovation Index, this represents the India's performance and China's performance over nearly last 11 or 12 years. So look, when 2010, nearly India and China were quite nearly similar, not so significantly different. But China has continuously and vigorously working day and day, and so they are continuously improving to the position of nearly top 10 innovative countries. India from 66 to 62, 64, 66, 78, 76, 81. So from 10 to nearly 15, the India's performance is declining. And look friends, after 2015, India has started improving 66, 60, 57, 42, 48, 46. So this is all, look, so Global Innovation Index, this is a international index derived based on multiple factors. What number of research, what number of patents are generated? Yes, they are one of the factors. Apart from that, the ranking is done on various 82 different parameters, like how many graduates are passing out, how is the working environment, how is the what is the ICT infrastructure, what number of newspapers are printing, what number of Wikipedia is from your country, how many YouTube videos from your, okay, ease of doing business, startup culture, like all these, okay, taxation structure, how stable is the government. So 360-degree evolution, and this is here. So look, this is how India has progressed. This is all with respect to the proactive actions the government, central government has started from 2014 onwards, friends, right? The central Modi government came into power in 14 and they started taking many revolutionary, right? Digital India, Startup India, Stand Up India, Innovative India, Jan Dhan Yojana, right? Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, or this health insurance systems, and startup culture promotions with implementation of GST, okay, and taking everything on the digitalized platform, the applying, right, applying for the grant and disbursement of grant from the government directly to the beneficiary's account. So all these reforms, just yesterday I was reading one article wherein the central minister Piyush Goyal was saying that that government has reduced or eliminated 20,000 plus government requirements, unnecessary requirements, 20,000 plus from all the sectors. So that is how it is reforming, and that is how India has progressed, right? So look, friends, look, India rises in the Global Innovation Index. 2015, India was 81, and in 2021, 46. So India has jumped 35 places in just 6 years. And when you will see the entire history of Global Innovation Index, no country in the history or entire world has shown such a great performance in such a short. Okay, that is how India is reforming and innovating. So this is, and world is taking a stronger note of all these reforms and the India's progress. In one of the Mann Ki Baat episode and one of the public disclosure as well, our Honorable Prime Minister had said that we want to take India into the top 25 most innovative countries by 2030. Okay, top 25. And as the rank is improved, the competition is getting more and more competitive. Okay, and that is really. So look, friends, to take all those, now we will see. So that is global innovation. Now see world intellectual property indicators. So these discusses about the number of patents filed by the world, number of utility filed, sorry, number of trademark and all filed by entire world and the top performing country for the years of 2017 and 18. So look over here, patent. So for the patent, the entire world has filed nearly 31 lakh patents in 2017, which has grown to 33 lakh in 2018. Out of this figure, the biggest contributor is the China alone is contributing nearly 13 lakh and 15 lakh patent of total world's 33 lakh patent, which accounts for nearly 46% of entire world contribution is only by the China. Number 2 is USA. Look, there is a difference of, you can say, nearly 200% between number 1 and 2. Huge difference. Utility model, again China number 1, 96% of world. Trademark, again China number 1, 50% of entire world. Industrial design, again China number 1, 54% of entire world. Plant varieties, China number 1, nearly 30% of world. So look, friends, if any country want to progress, we are living in the technology domain. And the country which is more technology advanced, that would lead the world in the, and where the technology is. So where there is a technology, there is a IT. And these are clear-cut remarks. Which country is more technologically advanced? Okay. So look, in terms of China is number 1 for patent, trademark and design. India number 12 for the patent, trademark number 9 for the trademark. For designs it is number 3. So look, and this slide represents the India stand, where India is. Look, China 15 lakh patent in 1 year, 365 days. Whereas India, look, just 50,000 patent. Where 50,000 is and where 15 lakh 42,000 is. And here also there are another important parameter is like, look, resident and the non-resident. So out of 15 lakh, non-residents contribution is just nearly 10% for China. Rest 90% is in-house. Look at in our total patent filing in India as a country is 50,000, and out of that 50,000 as well, the patent filing by non-resident foreigners, multinational companies is nearly 70%. So our in-house number is very minimal. So look how China has progressed. Okay, so this slide represents the how China has progressed, and this China doesn't have achieved in last 3-4 years. China reached to this position over their strategic decision and working for nearly 3 decades time period, friends. Okay, so look, 1995, 2005 and 2016. Here is the China, here is the India. China is on the scale of 0 to 80 and India is on 0 to 8. So do not consider height as equivalent. There is 10-fold difference between two. So when China, look, China understand the importance of IPR very early, right? In 1995, when they understand and they started taking action, at that time China was nearly 1, India was also 1. They understand it's important. They made a strategic move. They made a relaxation. They made a large-scale awareness program, large-scale supportive program, a granting support, right? And based on that, in next year, they progress from 1 to 10. India progress from 1 to 4. And based on all these actions, what they have taken in next year, it has shown result into next 10 years. And they progress from 10 to 70, and India progress from 4 to 7. So friends, even if we will start today, okay, it will take, this is the agenda which will take nearly 1 decade or more of time. Okay, we proudly say that India is the youthest country of the world. But for today, when there would be a day when India would be the elderest country in the world. Okay? And if when India is youth, if at this youth age India will not work, it would hugely depend on the international factors or companies or other countries. And if there would be a situation, what would be the India situation when India would be? That would be really very worsened situation. So we have to understand its importance and we have to start working on the same. Okay. So look friends, this is trend of India's patent filing. So look, 3 years, 16, 17 and 18. Total patent filing is nearly 45, 47 and 50. Out of that, Indians contribution 13,000, 15,000, 17,000 and this is by the foreigners. India's contribution is just nearly 30%. Now look, this 17,000 or 15,000 figure, what it is here. Now we are further dividing into state-wise, which state is performing what, okay? And now we are dividing that number into type of applicant. Patent, if patent is filed on the name of natural person, like a student or a faculty. So this is by the Indians and foreigners, okay? So India being a country of 140 crore Indians, lesser than 10,000 only go for patent filing. Does it mean that other Indians, when you will reverse calculate 140 crore divided by 7,000, the number you will get would be very surprising. Does it mean that other Indians are not capable enough to do a research? Right? Every Indian, right? We are very intellectual enough, but we have a big only they can the trend. If you look down the resource
Sorry, sir, your voice is
resources as
breaking.
well.
Amit, sir, your voice is breaking.
Yes. Okay. Is it audible properly, madam? Now.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, friends, we have to understand that with respect to whatever the resource access to yourself, you can address large number of problems to the society and industry. And with that line, right, we have to understand that we can go for patenting with small innovation as well. Patent doesn't mean a rocket science. Only big invention or only those PhD students who always remain with the study and reading all the time, only they can do something and they can go for patenting. It is nothing like that. Every person, whoever is thinking something with their brain towards the problem solution is capable enough to get the patent. Look, in India, we have nearly 50,000 plus startup. Lesser than 1,000 are going for application. Small entity. In India, we have nearly 6 crore 35 lakh MSME units. The real backbone of Indian economy. And of them as well, lesser than 1,000 are going for patenting. And other than natural person, this includes all academic institutes, all universities, all government big companies like PSU sectors or all private sector big players, right? And all of them lesser than 10,000. And these are, friends, related to the application, number of applications filed. Look at this slide represents the number of patents granted to the Indian and number of patent in force. Patent has a 20 years time period. Okay. So look, Indian patent granted. So, and this includes inclusive of all natural persons, small entities, startup and a big corporation. So in entire history, in 1 year, not more than 2,500 patents are granted to Indians, including of all big companies, including of all academic institutions, including of CSIR, including of all MSMEs and all. And these are the hard reality, right? And the friends, this doesn't mean that we are not capable enough. The best brains resides in the India. The reason for this lesser number is our lack of awareness towards the IP. The day when India awakens, right? The day one when every person will feel that yes, I am capable enough. Whatever I have created, it is patentable. The person will understand it. This number will exponentially grow. Right? And look, because of lack of awareness, look, and because of our academic system in India, we go for the research paper publication more than the going for the patent filing. Now look, this slide represents the trend of India's research paper publication. Okay. So look, one of the report from the government of India, Ministry of Science and Technology, which says that over a period of years, Indians contribution for the research paper. Look, in latest 2018 Scopus listed journal, there are nearly 1,70,000 from Indians. SCI listed 73,000. NSF listed 1,35,000. So this means that in 1 year, nearly 4 lakh research papers are published from India. Whereas in terms of patent, lesser than 20,000. Out of this 4 lakh, many are the genuine and original words which are actually capable enough to go for patenting. But because of the lack of awareness, we are not going for the patent filing and we are going for the research paper publication. Now, one will ask, right? If we are going for the research paper or patent, what exactly that differentiates? What is the difference between two? Okay, so look, before we go and discuss about the difference, try to understand. Okay, let me go to those slides first and then I will go back. Research paper and patent, what is the difference? So suppose if you have invented something and you first go for the research paper and you first go for the patent, what difference it makes? So look, research paper gives you no ownership right, whereas patent will give you the ownership right. In fact, for research paper publication, when you submit your research paper, the publisher will take away your copyright ownership as well. Whereas in case of patent, ownership will always remain with you. Okay, for research there is no compulsory criteria like a novelty. Whereas for patent, novelty is the must criteria. Okay, so that's why you can publish the same research paper into another journal, a journal will accept it. But for patent, novelty, so that's why if you will ask for the repetitive thing, those patents will not grant. Another important aspect, say for example, if you have invented it, now you have published as a research paper, another industry or another person has studied about it and he has started a right? And he is making huge profit. So based on the first research paper filing, you cannot stop others for publishing your invention because research paper doesn't give you any ownership. Whereas in the same case, if you have first filed a patent and if any other person is copying the same, you can take a legal actions against them and you can take or you can stop them. Okay. Look, for research paper filing to patent is not possible because of the novelty criteria. First, it is published by your own self, then also it is publicly known. Hence, the novelty is gone. So it is not possible for research paper to patent filing. Whereas first filing a patent and then going for research paper is always possible. Okay. So these are the major differences between two. Either you go for research paper or patent. Now you have to take a strategic decision. Okay. Now look, friends. So wants to get a patent. If you want patent protection, what should not be done? And this, what we are going to discuss in the next slide. These are the usually biggest mistakes what Indians are making, and especially the Indian academies. Okay. So if a very small work, right, one feature amendment into existing product is also capable to go for patenting, right? But to go for it, what mistake you should not do? Okay. So wants to get a patent, stay away from. So before you file the patent application, stay away from all those things which are listed over. And once you file the patent application, you doesn't require to wait till it's granted. Once filed, after its filing, from next moment itself, you can do anything. But before filing, you should not do any of these things which will disclose your invention to the society. So stay away from any kind of whether they are research paper, internet, newspaper, or poster presentation. To do publication before filing a patent, even though that is your own work, your paper is also on your name, and you are the one who is applying for a patent. Then also when you file, going for the patent filing on the same date, the same matter is available to the society. And that's how it is not novel. And it is not novel, so not patentable. So stay away from any kind of publication like research paper, internet, newspaper, poster presentation. Stay away from taking part into any award competitions, events, workshops, seminars, conferences. That will also kill the novelty of your invention. Stay away from any kind of public display, either a public place, YouTube. In today's time, what people are doing, like they take a photo, publish on their social media. They take a video for what are the component, how it is working, and make that video available on YouTube and the social media. So those all leads to ultimately killing the novelty of your patent. Right? Stay away from the production and the marketing of the good as well. So friends, look, if you need a patent protection, stay away from any of these activity unless and until you file the patent application. Once filed, from next moment you can do any of it. But before filing, strictly no. Okay. So with this, right, its time is about to up, right? So look, just 2 slides are there. So to promote all these activities, the government has understand the importance of IP. And to promote all these activity in the recent time as well, government has made a huge changes in terms of amending the patent rules, modernization of IP office, large number of manpower recruitment so as to reduce all, taking all the activities on the digital platform, introduction of expedited route, initiatives under Startup India, small entities, startup category, women applicant as a category, and the special benefits are provided, large number of IP awareness program, right? And because of all strategic actions, look what government has achieved. Look, here is the number from the patent office. In 2014, the patent office was examining nearly 14,000 patent applications, and they have granted nearly 6. And because of all the proactive actions of the government in just 5 years, the same patent office has examined nearly 50,000 patents, nearly 300% in performance, and they have granted nearly 15,000. The patent office, which was examining nearly 83,000 trademark in 1 year and granting nearly 41,000, the same trademark office on the present day is examining 5,20,000 trademark applications and granted nearly 3,16,000. And these are actual numbers. Whatever the number I had represented, all numbers are from the Indian Patent Office annual report, which they have submitted to the Parliament and available on their site. So these are all genuine numbers, and this speaks about the actions of the government, what reform they have taken, right? In 2014-15, there was a scenario like if you apply for a patent today, it was taking 6 or 7 years. If you apply for a trademark today, it was taking nearly 3 or 4 years. And on the present day, the situation is like that. If you apply patent today on expedited route, within 1 year, you will get the grant result. 1 year. For trademark and design, if you apply today, within 6 months, your certificate will be on your hand. So these are all, government is very proactive and serious about all these activities. And this is what I say with respect to IP, but apart from this as well, in a 365-degree way, right? Government is making a huge reform in all the segments, and cumulatively, this is all giving up a synergistic results to the social benefits, to the economic contribution, and India's level of the international platform. So friends, go and explore the way towards the IP, right? Do not say that we are from one normal college and that's why we cannot go and explore or apply for a patent. It is no one's monopoly. Even the first year student is capable enough to think of any problem, to think innovatively, and if he actually gets a positive result, he is eligible to apply for a patent. It is not only like that, it is for the any student who are working for project or only for the final year student who are working for the project. Any person, any student, right? Whether who has a formal education or not, who is an illiterate person, who has an observation skill and who has applying the thoughts. Every person is capable enough to create IP and is eligible to own the IP. So with this, I would just like to conclude my session here. If any participant has any questions, they can unmute themselves, they can ask, they can write into chat box, or always you can write an email or give a call to myself. Thank you all.
Yes, participants, if you are having any queries, please ask. You can put your queries in the chat box also. Okay, sir, I think there is no query. Okay.
I had a question.
Okay, you can ask.
So, what if someone files a patent in India and they also want to file the patent for same thing in another country? So, is that possible?
Yes, it is possible, Vishal, right? It is possible. And look, all the IP is a time game. You have to respect the timeline. So for this situation, for protecting your patent into multiple countries, you have to respect the timeline. And what the act and the timeline says that within 1 year timeline of your first filing into India, you have to make application into those countries within 1 year, 365 days, right? On the overlapping of that 1 year, on the very next day, if you will go and apply, you will not get.
Okay, so for example, Apple has patents in America, and if
Hmm.
someone copies the same exact model in India, can they do it? Since they only
Uh,
filed in America.
Quite good question, quite good, right? Can, if Apple or Google or Microsoft has a patent in USA, and if they are not filing into India, can we file the same patent into India? So answer is no, right? If you will go for applying, yes, system will accept your application, but it will not get granted. And why it will not granted? Because say for example, Apple has applied for that patent on the 1st January 2021. Now on the present day, 1st October 2021, you come to know about the same, and let's say that you apply for the same patent on 2nd October 2021. Okay,
Okay.
you applied it, your application is also registered, but when the same will be examined by the patent office, they will search with respect to the previous document what is available, and they will report exactly the same document who has a priority of 1st January 2021. And in comparison of that document, your application is no more novel, and it is
Okay,
no
sir.
more novel, so not patentable.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Visa.
So one more query from my side.
Yes, ma'am.
After receiving the published status to any patent, what is the next step to get the grant for the same?
Okay. So look, patent is a multi-stage procedure. Okay. It has a, we can say, majorly 4 stages like application,
Yes.
publication, examination, and the grant. So once it is published, after that, the patent office also examines your application, whether it is patentable or not. And they will give you the examination report. Right? Under examination report, they will cite few documents, and they will say that in view of these documents, we patent office thinks like that your patent is, sorry, not novel or not patentable. So
Okay.
in against to that report, you have to make the written submission. What
Okay.
are those documents and how your invention is technically advanced or differentiating compared to it?
Okay.
On the views of novelty, non-obvious usefulness, right? And if those grounds are valid, if you are able to justify them, then the patent office would be very happy to accept those applications and they will grant it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your answer. Any other query? Participants? Okay. So on behalf of Trinity Academy of Engineering Pune, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our speaker, Mr. Amit Kumar Patel, who spared time from his busiest schedule to grace this event. Today, we had an opportunity to hear his thoughts and want to hear more from him. That's why we have planned one more session on 11th October 2021. Sir, this will surely be going to encourage us in our future events. I would like to thank the people who worked behind the event to make this event happen. Last but not the least, I thank all the participants for patiently listening this session. Thank you all. Thank you once again. Now, I would like to conclude this session. Please give your valuable feedback and fill e-assessment form. We will see you once again on 11th October 2021. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Yes,
And thank you, Nilesh sir and Chandan sir and all the students. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
11th of October, sir.
Yes, yes, surely. Thank you. Thank you all participants too. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining.